Hello everyone, welcome to the reading. This reading will be about Tami, Roman, and Reggie, Youngblood. It's basically going to be a relationship reading. Before I get into the energies regarding their relationship, let's see what's happening in her day-to-day mundane life. And then I'm going to be asking the questions we're all curious about. So let's see what's happening. Okay, so something's definitely going on in a home with this Four of Wands. Most definitely. So I'm going to be looking into each individual card, by the way. I'm just pulling up the header energy. So let's see what's going on. What's happening? So there's an energy of feeling trapped. Not just that, it's an energy of a lack of support is what I'm seeing. You know, it actually has to do with her. It has to do with sort of like her willpower. Not just that, it has to do with her position. This is an interesting energy because usually the Empress is about things coming to you like easily without having to like do any effort. You know what I mean? Like unlike the Queens, the Empress, her role is to kind of like let things happen for her, like without having to do any effort. What's being shown to me is that it's not the case with this situation. I'm gonna be real, the energies that I'm getting is that she's not receiving support from her man at this moment in time. She would like support, but she's not receiving support. So definitely interesting. Also, guys, definitely check out some of my past readings regarding people like Shawn Mendes and Normani, because I don't like to say predictions. I feel like it's pretentious, but I definitely made some sort of like predictions basically about like what was going on. It was more insight, if anything, as far as like Shawn Mendes recently coming out saying that like he's not going to be performing, that he needs time for himself. And it's interesting that I covered those energies in the reading that I did. Also, even regarding the Normani situation, you know, I was seeing that like she was going to be like dating all these dudes and trying different things out. And it's funny that like weeks later after I did that reading, like she was out with like different dudes and shit dating. So definitely like, you know, check out my readings and shit. It's definitely fascinating. With this Three of Wands energy, she wants to move away. I'm definitely seeing her wanting to move away. Very fascinating. Again, I'm just getting the header energies first. You know what I mean? Perfect. This has to do with her emotion because the card is face down. I'm going to leave it like that. I'm going to go to another deck and let's see what happens. All right, this is a rebellious energy with you don't own me. You know what I mean? She's in sort of like her rebel energy. So it's interesting. What I'm seeing is shit's going down in the home. Not just that, she wants to get away. And look at this. Look how fascinating this is. With the Five of Swords. The Five of Swords has to do with trauma. You know what I mean? It has to do with sort of like shady behavior in the past regarding like loved ones, friends, you know what I mean, family, you know what I mean. It can also relate to like work and different things, right? But what's being shown to me is that she definitely feels betrayed. Not just that, there were some shady things in the past, shameful, shady things. I'm actually picking up the energies regarding her and that Reggie dude. And it's kind of just like she's trying to empower herself, you know what I mean? Trying to find alignment, like based off the trauma. So it's definitely fascinating because like, from what I know of her, she had like a tough life as far as like, also let me just say this is all allegedly and for entertainment purposes only. I have to say that because of YouTube. But she says that she was abused as a kid. I don't know if it's true, to be honest. I'm not feeling anything energetically. But this is what she was saying, that she was abused and she went through all this different trauma. And so it's kind of just like, I'm picking up a strong vibe of someone that uses trauma to try to empower themselves. But what ends up happening is it takes a toll on the body. But let's look deeper into this situation. Let's see what's going on with the home. I decided to do this reading because she was at like a BET Awards. I think it was the BET Awards, one of the awards. And she was like really skinny and people were just like, yo, like what's going on? So it's interesting that the same cards basically popped up that was giving like further insight, because usually how I do it is I prefer like one card to pop out. When it's multiple cards, like before I get the header energy, it's kind of like a glimpse into like what happens, but I always like tend to put the energies back until just like one card come up. But it's interesting that these energies keep popping up as far as the home. So regarding the home, she's not getting any support. You know what I mean? Because the Four of Wands represents the home. And as you can see, like I was telling you, no support, shit not being easy. So she's resentful about that. Let's look into this situation with her wanting to get away. Because what's being shown to me is that she definitely wants to get away with this Three of Wands. She's waiting for the right opportunity. She's definitely waiting for the right opportunity. She's waiting for good news to come. You know what I mean? Not just that, she feels like the luck isn't there at this moment. She doesn't feel like it's the right time to move forward. You know what I mean? Not just that, she's looking at her offers. This is business offers, relationship offers. She's trying to put things together. You know what I mean? Trying to come up with a plan. So it's kind of just like, yes, she wants to get away, but at the same time, you know, she's waiting for the right opportunity. You know what I mean? She's not trying to rush. It's also interesting because I always say that the animals in the deck represents sort of just like how someone truly feels. You know what I mean? Because the human represents sort of like the exterior, and the animal represents sort of like what's going on internally. So like what I'm seeing is that she's trying to keep it calm. You know what I mean? Trying to keep it cool, like everything is fine. You see how this guy is kind of like smiling and chilling? But if you look at the animal, she's really upset. She's not feeling too good. Not just that, she's looking at the past. She's just like, yo, I don't like how like shit was handled. You know, I don't like how it was treated. You know, and she's still walking like towards the future, but at the same time, she can't get over the past. You know what I mean? And that's being seen here as well with the Five of Swords. Let's look deeper into this situation. This Five of Swords situation. All right. So it has to do with a shady romance. I gotta keep it real with you guys with this Page of Cups. Because you see, it's about the past, trauma that happened in the past, right? This gives us further insight. It has to do with a shady love offer. So I'm seeing that her guy was definitely talking to other females. And it's interesting because I don't know if it's true, because I didn't know the name of her dude, you know what I mean? So I Googled, like, if she was even, like, in a relationship and what's the person's name. Because I was just like, okay, I want to do a relationship. I want to do a reading on this Tami person. But I was just like, is she even in a relationship? And if she is, what's the dude's name? And it's funny that when you Google, like, Tami Roman, like, boyfriend or husband, what pops up is the guy's name, but it says something like, she gave permission for her dude to basically step outside the relationship, and like he was able to like cheat, I guess, or I don't know if you would call it like an open relationship for like 2 years. until he was able to get someone pregnant. I don't know if that's true or not, to be honest. I didn't look any further. I just thought that was funny. You know, I don't know the context of that situation, because for all I know, it could have been just like a joke. But, you know, what I'm seeing is she's definitely not happy about cheating. So again, I don't know the context of that situation, but what I'm seeing is that it was a shady love offer that she definitely wasn't happy about. You know what I mean? And again, it has to do with the past, because the Six of Cups represents the past. The same as well with the Five of Swords. So I'm picking up a vibe of just like, this shit is really stuck in her energy. You know what I mean? Because I'm seeing this guy that she's with, this Reggie dude, kind of like hooking up with a lot of different females. That's what I'm picking up intuitively. You know what I mean? Stepping outside of the home. You know, also abandoning her while she was not in a good position. You know what I mean? So it makes me think, because some people say she has health issues. Like, is this what this is about? Because it's showing that in her time of need, he wasn't there. Not just that, he didn't make anything easy for her regarding the home. So that's what I'm seeing. And death. You know, this situation is going to be coming to an ending. You know, there's a lot of prayer is what I'm seeing. A lot of stress. Not just that, a lot of negative, bad energy. I'm going to be real. Negative, bad karma is what I'm seeing. So very fascinating. Let's look into this situation with You Don't Owe Me. Because she's just like, fuck you at this point. All right. The Tower. You know, the Tower is an interesting energy, right? It's kind of just like instant change. You know what I mean? It's kind of just like a disaster happening. Not just that, it also represents sort of like energy that needs to be unleashed. So there's going to be some energy that's unleashed in this situation. You know, she's trying to like play things cool, you know what I mean, and be calm. But what I'm seeing is that she's definitely ready to get the fuck away. Not just that, I'm seeing a lot of arguments as well. And that has to do with sex. I'm getting a weird situation. I'm definitely picking up a weird situation. And it's funny, right? I'm picking up kind of like an open relationship, but then it's not an open relationship, because this Tower looks like a phallic symbol. So I'm getting an energy of like weird sexual shit. Not just that, two people that aren't aligned. So I'm definitely seeing like they're not on the same terms. You know what I mean? And it's interesting. If I'm correct, I think that she's like really old and he's younger. So, I mean, kind of almost like what you expect. You know, I'm not saying that like there's a standard to life, because like, you know, life can be anything. It just depends on the people. But I'm definitely seeing that standard here, as far as kind of just like this guy's younger. You know, he has different needs. Not just that, they're not aligned. You know, it's kind of crazy if it's true that she did tell this dude he can step out the relationship to get a female pregnant because she can't have any children. So, I mean, very disgraceful energies. Now I'm going to ask the questions that we're curious about, or at least I'm curious about. Does this Tami female, does she actually love Reggie? Let's see. Does she actually love him? Because, yeah, you can be stressing over people and all of that shit, but sometimes it doesn't always mean love. It could just be jealousy. Not just that, things are definitely complicated. So with this Seven of Cups, it's an interesting energy, right? Because I'm not necessarily picking up love. I'm picking up an energy of options. So it's kind of just like, it's almost like there was never no love there. I gotta be real. Like, the energy that I'm picking up is really cold. Like, I'm not, like, even intuitively, like, without the cards, I'm not even picking up love. You know what I mean? She's more concerned about her options. Not just that. This is an older female. You know what I mean? Like, usually it represents an older lady. So it's a deep energy. It's kind of just like, she's more concerned with her opportunities. You know what I mean? She's kind of just like, yo, I'm aging. I'm getting old as fuck. And she's kind of just like, what's going to be right for me? Like, what's going to cause, like, victory? So that's her concern. She's not even tripping off of love. It's kind of just like, I don't know, I guess she really has been through so much in her life that, like, she's cold about the whole love situation. Like, she's not tripping off that shit. This Queen of Swords, that's a really deep energy, because the Queen of Swords, I know it says the Queen of Daggers, but the Queen of Swords represents sort of like kind of like a really cold energy. She's like the most cold out of all the females in the deck. Not just that, you know, she definitely strategizes, you know what I mean? She's all about strategy. She's not emotional by any means. Like, she's definitely not emotional, and that's what I'm picking up. You know, it's more of that cold energy. You know, she's really logical about this situation. So I'm not picking up love. I'm picking up the female that's logical, that's worried about sort of just like real life shit. You know what I mean? Kind of just like the shit that doesn't involve love and sort of like romance and all that. She's not tripping off of that. So I gotta keep it real. No, she doesn't love him. Let me see. Does this Reggie guy, does he love Tami? Let's see what we can see regarding this situation. It's hard for him to love her. It's definitely hard for him to love her. I'm picking up an energy that he tried to love her, but you see this powerful woman sideways. When a card is sideways, it represents energies not being right. I say this all the time in my readings. And I'm definitely picking up that energy now. You know what I mean? It's kind of just like, she's almost too strong. You know what I mean? It's kind of just like a lack of femininity. Not just that. It's a really rough sort of energy. You know what I mean? Normally this wouldn't be a bad energy to, like, you know, be a powerful woman. But you see the card is sideways. So for him, he's kind of just like, he doesn't feel comfortable with her. He definitely doesn't feel comfortable with her. Not just that, all that cold masculine energy that she's giving off, you know, it doesn't arouse him, you know, so it's kind of just like, it's deep. With his situation, I'm actually picking up in the past, he did care for her. He did kind of love her, but it's kind of just like her ways and her energies, it's a turnoff to him. Let me look further with this deck. All right. So this is an interesting energy, right? Because it's definitely giving sort of just like what's really happening in their relationship. You see this High Priestess in reverse? It's showing me, and it actually like flipped in reverse. You know what I mean? Usually only like reverse like this deck or like one deck. I don't do it for all the decks. But it's funny that this particular card came out in reverse by itself. So what I'm seeing is more of that sort of like misplaced energy as far as Tami goes. You know what I mean? As far as like, I don't know, I keep getting energies of femininity. Like, it's not legit. You know what I mean? Not just that, I'm picking up an energy of abuse. I'm seeing that she's abusive. She's also very manipulative. So it's like all that shit, it's a turn off for him. You know what I mean? I'm definitely picking that up. And it's interesting. You see this with the powerful woman sideways and the High Priestess in reverse. I mean, these energies speak for themselves. He's kind of just like, how can I love her when she's not a cool person to be around? You know, I'm picking up strong energies of trauma. Because it's like the High Priestess is powerful, but when she's in reverse, you know, she could be very destructive. You know, instead of using that energy, that power in a constructive way, she uses it to abuse. Not just that, you see how the moon is taking a prominent position with this particular card? It would be different if like it was like upright. It would show that she's in control over her emotions and all of that. But what I'm seeing is that all that trauma that she dealt with in sort of like her past, it's still fucking with her like in her current life. You know what I mean? This is showing me a female that has a lot of trauma. Not just that, she takes it out on her partners. So, I mean, it is what it is. Guys, definitely tell me what you thought of this reading. Also, if you made it this far, definitely press the thumbs up button. And if you would like me to cover a celebrity, how to go about that will be in the description box. And if you would like to have a reading with me, how to go about that will be in the description box. And there go my email as well. That's in the description box. Take care.